This will be controversial. I know. And my good friend David Rowe loves this album, so no shade thrown at you, my friend. You're still great, and I hope you don't hate me after this. But this is a new cool idea I've thought of, well, cool according to me, where I talk about an album and sort of question people's love for it and ask what it is about it that I'm not getting and what it is that I'm missing out on and why it's so popular and why I just don't love it, basically. And Josh Tillman just so happens to be the man I started this segment off with, this entire series idea. So, Pure Comedy is one of the most critically acclaimed albums of 2017. I initially did want to review it because this came out around the same time I started this very channel, but I just gave it so many listens that I just thought there was too much to digest and too much to just fathom to even go into detail in a proper review. It was very early on. I wasn't really like that great back then. I'm still not that great now, but you know, I just wasn't really feeling like I could put out a good review of it. But now the end is nigh for 2017, and this is getting all the acclaim, all the year-end lists are featuring this album, so I thought what better time to bring out my distaste and dislike for this album and sort of question what it is about it that people love. Now, first of all, I'm just going to give a bit of background on Father John Misty. I love the guy. Even Fear Fun I thought was a pretty solid album, and I Love You Honey Bear, one of my favourite albums of 2015, will go down as one of my favourites of the decade without a doubt. I fucking love that album. I love Father John Misty as a personality. I think he's hilarious as an online persona. He always comes out with pretty funny quotes too, and every now and then I hear a song by him and I think, yep, this is really well sung. I'm talking about live performances because he's done a few where they haven't really been proper singles, and those I'm into quite a bit. And I just loved his crass sense of humour, his cynicism on I Love You Honey Bear, but at the same time his saccharine and overly just blah song lyrics about his partner and possibly his wife, I can't quite remember. Like, I related to both of those sides on such a phenomenal level, that crass humour and also that hopeless romanticism. Like, I just related to both at the same time so much, and I just couldn't believe there was an album actually like it. But he announced that love songs weren't going to be his focus point in music anymore, and of course we come to 2017, the year that everything got political, and he comes out with Pure Comedy. Now, when I say everything got political, that doesn't mean to say that we shouldn't talk about politics, but I just think everywhere I look now, I see something political related. It's in TV shows, it's in films, everything is just like got this politics ideology behind it, this sort of, oh, it means this, but actually when you read into it, it's got this political theme. It's so relevant. And I appreciate that when it's done really well. But when a year that even Pink put out an album that had political leanings on it, and then even Destroyer does it too, I just think we're getting to a point like, do we need it in everything? Gorillaz, with their album Humans, the amount of times Trump was referenced on the album was just too over the top. And so an hour and 15 minutes of Father John Misty rambling on about a lot of topics that don't amount to much when you think about it as a whole, it just makes me just wonder why this was necessary. And I do get that Father John Misty is a character. Josh Tillman is quite clearly playing a character as Father John Misty. It's important to note that because probably a lot of the things that he says in his music, especially on an album like this, isn't necessarily his own thoughts, but I just don't think it makes for compelling music either way. Ballad of a Dying Man basically sums up this album. It's basically this ridiculous song that has the theme of a man who thinks his social ideologies, his sort of viewings of the world are as important as like the frigging universe. He believes that his opinion should be held so highly, and they're really just not. That's basically the summary of this album. It's like a man who's putting his thoughts to music that thinks his thoughts are bigger and bolder than they actually are. Two wildly different perspectives could have been a really smart track if it just didn't take the extremes from both ends and put them up against each other in an argument. Like, I don't really feel like what he's saying on this song is really that common in the beliefs of many people. And I think Randy Newman's approach on The Great Debate was much more realistic than this could ever be, and done in much a more intelligent way than what Father John Misty provides on this album. Most of the time he's just self-indulgent, whereas Randy Newman on The Great Debate actually used proper arguments that people have, like from religion and from the science side, like, and just did it in such a crazy way. Whereas I just don't think it was done that well here. I just feel like people are pinning up Father John Misty to be a lot more intelligent than he actually comes across as. And he is intelligent. I mean, he writes better songs than your average person. This isn't like terrible songwriting. But just for me, I just can't ever see a day where I'd ever want something like this. Which brings me to the next point I want to make, the music on this album, because honestly, who wants this music? Like, I just can't fathom how anyone could sit through this album and not get bored. Like, even if you are enamored by the lyrics, I just don't get it. Pure Comedy is a great track. That is the one great track on this album that I think I would see myself coming back to. But it's like he copy and pasted the instrumental on that track and just did it for the rest of the album. Like, that is what he did, because you could fit in, there were so many points in this album where I was listening and I was like, I could just sing Pure Comedy over all the instrumentals. I bet the same people that love this album probably call John Lennon overrated and have never listened to an Elton John album in their life, because the ironic thing is that this album is basically the same as those on a compositional level, and the piano playing is just as equally good, or depending on how you look at it, bland, because that's all I hear when I listen to this. The lack of progression in these songs is really just annoying, because I just want something different as the track goes on, but most of them don't bring that. The lack of diversity amongst the whole album leaves so much to be desired. And I think this album just gets me more annoyed that politics are included in almost everything, everywhere you go now, because when it's done like this and done in such an uninteresting way, I'm just like, was it even necessary in the first place? If you're gonna do it, bring out an interesting idea along with it, or at least make the music sound good. But really, I just don't see anything on this album. I'm probably being a bit too harsh, but honestly, let me know what you think. I just wasn't feeling this at all. Not for an hour and 15 minutes. That makes me think this album probably won't hold up that much in the long run, because not many people will want to be replaying this. Even if you're a person that replays this a lot, just think about in a year or 2 years, do you think you will be? Because at this point, I'm not sure. Just let me know what you think of this album. Subscribe to the channel for more videos and reviews like this. Yeah, I'm going to hopefully do more videos like this, because I think this is kind of fun just to sort of talk on a contrarian level of an album, I suppose. Just speak your opinion that might not be that popular. It's kind of fun to do every now and then. And yeah, just let me know what I should review next, and have a good day.